Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. First stream of 2024. How is everyone doing? Let's do a check-in, see where everybody's at, see how everyone's doing today, how the beginning of the year is treating you. I must say 2024 is off to a much better start than 2023, in my opinion. I feel like 2023 was heavy. There was a lot going on. I feel like this is a lot smoother so far. So is everyone else feeling that same energy? Hello? Is everyone else feeling that same energy? Is it just me? Yes, you're the first person. I just logged in literally 30 seconds ago. So how are you doing? It can get kind of crazy in here though. Oh, whoa, and then everybody just shows up at once. Not everybody, but it was, whoa. It went from 1 to 17. Celtic Knight, White Nile is David. Linux, is that how you say it? I hope I'm saying that right. Tony. Everything is happening all at once. So I'm seeing some new names in here. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here before. So this is just a little live stream I like to do so we all have an opportunity to check in with our mental health, talk about where we're at, where we're going, sometimes where we were, where we're wanting to go, and just being able to have an open conversation. I just want to have an open forum where we can all talk, shoot ideas off each other, and like I said, check in, ask questions. So we have our wins of the community. We share struggles here in the community. This is just a safe place, an open place where we can do that. So it does get kind of crazy in here. If you want to make sure that I see your message, please make sure to use the super chat or super sticker function that will highlight the message, and any pledges from that go toward my mental health outreach. I always have a goal of $250 for each stream to raise for my outreach. So I'm very excited. I'm not excited. It's tragic, but I'm excited to be able to start getting back into that more. The holidays were kind of difficult, and while I was doing a little bit outreach out and about, it almost felt like things slowed down and it lulled me into a false sense of security. But I received a message from a girl I'd been really worried about, a woman that I'd been really worried about because I hadn't heard from her in a while. She's here in the community and she'd been messaging probably for about a little over a year now. And she was in a very, very abusive situation. I've been very concerned. I hadn't heard from her for the past few months. And out of nowhere, she messaged and said, I need your help. I'm ready to leave. I don't know what to do. I have no money. I have no resources. I have nothing at all. And I said, okay, let's figure this out. And we took some time. We game plans. I helped get her and her son into a hotel and at least made sure they were safe until we can get them into a safe house and into a place. So I obviously don't want to give any more information than that for safety reasons, but that was where the pledges from the last stream, about stream and a half, because I still had some left over from the stream before that. That's where those pledges went to, was making sure that they are safe, that they have food, that they have necessities, and that they are away from that situation. So how is everyone else doing? It was a really good way to start 2024, just making sure that that person could be in a better situation because of us. So those are the sorts of things that pledges here go to. And 250 is a bit arbitrary, but it seems to be about the level where we can either majorly help one person or in many cases help quite a few. So it just depends on the severity of the situation. So wow, my gosh, everybody's just here already. Oh, and before we really dive into this, I do want to remind you guys or let you know if this is your first time that I am not a mental health professional. So any insights or advice or wisdom that I give during these streams is based on my experience, the experience of others that I've encountered, sometimes my psychology background. So I do have an associate's in psychology working on my bachelor's, or my life coaching background. I am a certified life coach, but for the most part, it's just my experience. If you are in crisis, please make sure that you're getting the help that you need and deserve. It's only -40 degrees in Iowa today. I don't even know how you do that. I don't remember how I ever did that growing up because I used to live in Missouri and it got quite cold. My best friend just messaged me yesterday and said she had to leave the water dripping so the pipes didn't freeze. And I said, oh yeah, that's a thing that some people deal with. Totally forgot. Steve's from Albuquerque, so I'm sure he's pre-toasty like me. It's a little chilly here, but it's manageable. Oh, it's pronounced Linksy. Okay, Linksy. Thank you. Real Peckerhead says it's 18 degrees in New York. Yeah, I think that if I'm not mistaken, we're having an abnormally cold January across the nation right now. I know mail has been affected and stuff by the weather conditions, by the inclement weather. Yeah, most people are saying 18 degrees or less. I think it's in the 50s here. Edward says -20 in my world. Yeah, even here in Arizona, it feels chillier than normal. I mean, it's in the 50s, I can't complain, but it still feels chillier than normal. I don't feel like getting out as much as I usually do. So with the news that we were sharing about the outreach, I also wanted to share our good news for the week. I like to share a good news story from around the world, and this kind of ties into what we were talking about with our outreach this week. I do want to let you guys know that this article is about domestic abuse. I will avoid any details if any are given in this article, but if that is something that's triggery to you, maybe come back in a couple of minutes. It'll probably take me a couple of minutes to read this. So domestic abuse victims to receive flee funds to escape abusive partners. The payments can be used for rent, study, or household essentials to help them start new lives. So essential. I don't know why this hasn't been a thing sooner. Hundreds of domestic abuse survivors will receive cash payments of 2,500 euros, this is in the UK, each to help them flee their tormentors under a new initiative. The 2 million euro scheme, which launches this month, is described as a lifeline for women who can't flee or are forced to return to abusive relationships because they cannot afford essentials. This is something that abusers will often do, is they take control of finances. So not only are they controlling you emotionally and engaging in abuse, potentially physically or emotionally, but it turns into financial abuse and manipulation as well. A successful pilot of the scheme last year saw 600 victims given 250 euros or 500 euros. A review found 80% of applicants used it to flee to a safe location, as well as buy food, clothing, nappies, which are diapers, and security cameras. The new scheme, funded by the Home Office and delivered by women's aid charities, will see these flee funds rolled out across England and Wales and offers an additional 2,500 euros payment to pay for a rental deposit or bills. The safeguarding minister, Laura Ferris, told Sky News the most common reasons preventing people leaving a relationship are a lack of money, the strong fear of reprisals, or being found in the future and concern about their kids. Can you take them with you? How are you going to pay for everything? The point of this cash injection is to give them the security and confidence to make that first move to leave the relationship, and then a more substantial amount to get back on their feet as they pay for those first few months of rental accommodation and look for a job. No government has done this before. Of course, we're going to have to see how it works, and it may be that we need to increase funding. And hopefully this will be something that spreads here and that catches on and that we can implement here in the US, because it's true. As I was talking to the woman this past week, it is the biggest struggle. I had a really close friend about a decade ago now that I had to help get out of a situation like that, and that's usually the biggest obstacle is finances, because they have taken control of the finances and leave their partner with no way to escape. And this isn't just a woman issue. I've seen men fall into this same unfortunate situation, and I just think that it's really beautiful that we're doing that. So all the more people that we can help. Let's see. Eugene says, gotta keep using a blow dryer to warm up. You want to know something really funny? So heat comforts me when I'm having anxiety or panic or just feeling generally uncomfortable. This seat is really weird. I got a new chair and it's really weirding me out. And sometimes, actually, if I'm just feeling like I need to shock myself back into my body, if I can, I will use hot water on my feet or cold water on my hands, but sometimes I'll just use a blow dryer on my face or an ice cube on my face to snap myself back into reality, and it can help break dissociation episodes. Oh, the real Peckerhead says, I'm struggling mentally. Well, we're here if you want to talk about it, if you want to open up, and we'll see if we can maybe help you take a step in the right direction, but if not, just hold space for you. Sandwich says, I'm here just having struggles I can't mention in chat, but Amanda knows I didn't know where else to go. Well, hopefully you find the safe place to land today. Hey, Jack. Has been a while. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you have great stories of adventure to tell us. Really Mysterious is from Toronto saying hello, hello, hello. Really Mysterious says, when I have bit of anxiety, I have to take my shirt off. But there's a YouTube short I could do that would probably get a lot of views. This is just my way of coping with my anxiety, guys. No. Yeah, I always need something just to shock myself into reality. But I actually understand where you're coming from, because if I start getting anxiety, either I need to take off my jacket, or if I have any layers on, I'll either take off the layers because the feeling of it sticking to my skin really exacerbates the anxiety, or I need to put on more because I'm feeling like I need protection, almost like I need that protective layer. So it kind of goes one way or another. Matthew Azaria says, I'm currently listening on repeat to my favorite song by my favorite band in honor of my sister. She had lived to today. She would have turned 9 years old this morning. So yeah, well, that's a really beautiful way to honor her. And I hope it's helping you feel close to her and helping you find peace. That's never an easy thing. That sort of loss is always very difficult. Any loss is always difficult to navigate. But I really hope that does help you find peace. That'll be one of my wins. That'll be my win for this week. I'll tell you about it when we get there. David says, what about the polar plunger? At least your Arizona version of that. I did a video like that last year on my shorts. Vasco says, hello, hello, Miss Amanda. How are you? I hope all of you Miss and Misters are okay. You know, I'm for the most part okay. I've had a good day today. Like I said, 2024 is off to a pretty good start. I've had some pretty good wins. So should we do wins early today and then just see where everything leads us? David, there actually are ice baths here, by the way. I don't know how they run them, but there are ice baths. And I think there's an ice bar in Scottsdale where it's kind of like an igloo. I went to an ice bar once. Was it in Vegas? I want to say it was in Vegas. And then I had something similar when I went to Finland. We were sharing, Matthew, about your struggle and how I was really hoping that listening to that song helped you connect. The real Peckerhead said, I had 1 low blood sugar at work and they laid me off. Depending on what state you're in, you might be able to fight that. Thanks, Mike. Mike says, you inspire me, Amanda. Thank you. I love hearing. I've been getting more and more messages like this in the past couple months, and it makes me really happy when people say, because I saw your video, I was able to help this other person, or I was inspired to do this for a stranger, and that always really warms my heart. Celtic Knight 69 says, I have to focus one day at a time in recovery from addiction. Loved the message you gave when you did the reaction video for Maybe It's Time, Amanda. That's still one of my favorite songs that I've done a reaction to here on the channel, and it's one of a handful that I still listen to fairly frequently. I really love that song. I'm very proud of you for your recovery, and I think it's a healthy thing to focus on one day at a time. It's certainly positive to have long-term goals, but especially when we're fresh out of the darkness, it's totally okay to just say, right now, getting through this day or making the best of this day or getting on a more sustainable path is a-okay. Oh, thank you, Steve. Steve says, thank you, Amanda. Your channel saves people. I'm going to keep track of our pledges here. That is not, that is not going to work. I have to pick it up. So we have 10 from Steve. Thank you. Sharon says, thanks for all your wonderful advice. I just hope that it helps. I am not going to lie. I know you guys can relate to this. I really struggle with imposter syndrome, and I really struggle with the fact that I feel I feel a lot of pressure because I really genuinely want to help every person. I want to save every person. I want to be there for every person all the time. And I know the steps that it took for me to get out of the darkness. And I know everybody's journey is different, but there's certain times when I see people making decisions that just aren't conducive for their mental health. And then they come to me and say, well, Amanda, I'm depressed. I'm really struggling. Well, yeah, because you're doing X, Y, Z. And I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that that is not conducive. It's not going to move you in the right direction. At best, it will keep you treading water. So I'm always paranoid that I'm not saying the right things, but I just want you guys to know that everything I do say comes from a place of love and a place of desire to help you heal. So even if what I say isn't perfect, even if what I say isn't applicable to your situation, sometimes it's just about bouncing ideas off of each other. So if someone says, hey, this is the situation I'm in, and I say, hey, have you considered this? It's okay to say, I have considered that, or I have tried that, and that didn't really work for me. Let's put our heads together as a community and see what other options there are, because there's always other options. Always, always, always other options. And that's what we need to remember when we're in those challenging points. There's always other options. David, I love you. David says, I learned how to make a reverse bear trap because of Amanda. Amanda me or Amanda her? I need to know. Better be me. I'm going to take credit for that. David says, seriously, I strive not to disappoint Amanda. She knows what I'm capable of and not allowing me to not give it my all. I think that there's a fine line between holding space for someone and enabling them. And there's a fine line between pushing someone too far and motivating them. And we have to find that balance. But I am not the person that's going to say, okay, well, you just make all these terrible decisions and I'm going to support that. I'm not. If you want to do those things, I will still love you. I will still welcome you here in the community. But I remember having a conversation with Dallas, Diamond Dallas Page, when I was doing the DDPY, the DDP yoga training. And he was talking about how there are people that will send him these messages, these emails. And he said, I know these emails took 45 minutes to write. And it's just, well, I don't have time to do your program. And it's just full of excuses. And he said, in the 45 minutes it took you to write that message, you could have done several sessions. And he said, I will go out of my way. I will drop everything to help someone if they need it, if they are willing to do the work. And I have really adapted that myself, that if you are willing to put in the work, if you are willing to try, I will bend over backwards to be there for you and help you. But if you're going to continue to make decisions that are destructive, there comes a point where I say, hey, when you're ready, I'm here to help you. Otherwise, I'm here to listen. I'm here to hold space up to a certain point, but I'm not going to continue enabling bad decisions. Thank you. Really mysterious. Says, could you one day please react to the studio album version of Time for Mercy by Jan Arden? I will put that on the master list. So thank you for being such a kind soul. You help so many. Well, thank you. I'm going to put that up here. Time for Mercy. I've never heard of Jan Arden. Just going to make a note of that here while it's available. Or I will certainly forget. Last says, oh, he's replying to, last you on Facebook. Okay. Last is saying, I gave up Facebook 10 years ago. I can't deal with it. I'm a PTSD vet. It's too much to deal with, but I do know how to calm people down and center them. If it wasn't for the community, guys, I would have deleted my social media probably last year, if nothing else. I just feel like unless you know how to navigate the sludge, it's a very toxic thing. You have to be very mindful, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, or I don't have a TikTok, never again. I had one for 3 days and I said, no, thank you. I had Instagram for a little bit on my phone again, because I had a post go viral last week or the week before. I had a post go viral, and I was trying to keep up with everyone because I want anyone that's coming into the community to feel seen and heard and valued. So it's very important to me when a lot of people comment or message me that I keep up with that. So I downloaded it again on my phone, and I'm not kidding, I could watch my mental health decline. But as I had Instagram on my phone, I found myself checking it. I found myself comparing. I found myself getting stuck in that trap of, well, what can I do to grow the community? What can I do to connect with these people? Why is this post not getting enough? What can I do next? And I was starting to obsess, and I said, nope. I had it for a few days, deleted it. I still have it on the computer so I can come and check my messages and continue posting the content because I know you guys find that helpful. But I'm actually opposed to having any social media apps on your phone. I do not have any social media apps on your phone, and that's one of the main things I suggest to people when they're trying to find a first step. And that's why actually, if you go to my website, amandawebsterhealth.com, you can download a free workbook that will tell you how to improve your productivity and boost your happiness. And I suppose I shouldn't have titled it that, because the purpose is more or less how to cut back on your screen time, your unproductive screen time, because scrolling and being on those social media apps is incredibly destructive to your mental health. I will say I'm in a place where I'm doing pretty well. I feel like I have a good routine. I feel like I am in a pretty good place. I struggle here and there, and I had a few bad days toward the end of the year. Last summer was really rough, but for the most part, especially comparatively to 2018 or any of the time before that, or really even 2019, I'm in a good place. It still got me. I knew better. I knew better than to go check it all the time. I knew better than to scroll, but it got me. It draws you in. It's addictive, and I had to take the reins back. I had to do something. David says, I think we need to bring back pen pals with actually handwritten letters. I love sending actual postcards when I travel. I love getting letters in the mail. I love it, love it. Or just little gifts. It doesn't even have to be anything extravagant, but my love language is gifts and acts of service. So to me, the fact somebody took the time to handwrite a letter and mail it to me, I love that. That's, I had somebody quite a while ago ask if they wanted to send me a gift or something, how they could do that. And I said, you don't need to send me a gift. And eventually I had enough people ask that I said, I either just donate on stream or pledge on Patreon. You can do it that way just so I can utilize that for my outreach. And they said, no, how can we give something directly to you? We want to give back to you. And I said, well, that is what gives back to me because it makes me happy. But if you're really genuinely wanting to give me a gift, I had made a Amazon wish list, and I haven't updated it in like 6 months, but I did make an Amazon wish list at one point, just to, I guess, to be honest, I understand that because there's certain times where I really want to give to someone and I don't know what to give or how to give it. And if your love language is giving to people, I'm not going to say, no, you can't do that, because that's just how some people operate. I'm that way too. That's why, I have the outreach and stuff, is that's my way of showing love to the world. I feel like I'm just sinking. I feel like I'm in the movie Get Out and I'm just sinking into the sunken place here. Hello, multiple temperature transport. Tony says, feel like my life's motivation is gone. Well, based on some of the messages that I've caught here and the story that you were telling us last time, I understand how that can feel with the situation you're in of not being able to see your kids right now. But I really have to believe that it's a matter of time. It's a very uncomfortable waiting game of figuring out how to hold on until the situation passes. It's a storm, a bad storm. It's a hurricane, but every storm passes. And this is a situation, I think, that really is just requiring one part distraction, one part mindfulness. And I know that's kind of counterintuitive. I know that that can seem like those are contradictory, but when things get really intense, sometimes it's just best to distract yourself and to work on maybe a journal for the boys for when you are able to be with them again. You know, write a journal of all the things that you want to do with them or all the things you want to say to them. And maybe when they're older, you can give that to them and that'll be a really meaningful gift to them and it will help them understand what was going on. Just make sure that you're keeping a positive tone, that you're not talking negatively about other people involved in the situation or anything like that, that you are making an effort to tell them how you feel in a loving way, not a way that's meant to tear someone else down or to vilify somebody else, even if they deserve it. Matthew Azari says, my heroin cravings are starting to kick up again. I'm doing everything in my power to resist. However, it's getting tough. Is there something that is triggering the cravings, or is this the anniversary that we were discussing today or the birthday you were discussing today? Is there something that is fanning these more? Because that really makes all the difference of how to manage it. If you're just finding yourself in an environment that's triggering it, how you can change the environment. Also finding other things that can offer what it is you're looking for. So if you're looking for escape, if you're looking for a coping mechanism, what other escapes and coping mechanisms can you find that don't have the negative side effects? Kit Kat ice cream places. I don't really know why I did it, but I ended up relapsing with the self-harm again. It's been a rough evening. Sometimes we don't really know why these things happen, why we fall into these patterns, but it's worth sitting down and really reflecting and saying, what led to this? What feelings triggered these cravings? What was it that made me feel like I needed to turn to this? Because that's how we can drive a wedge between the thought and the action. We have to figure out what thought is driving the action. And while it might not seem like there's anything there, it's just that it's not obvious. So the more you can reflect and not shame yourself and not feel guilty, say, this happened, and now I'm going to move forward. I'm going to figure out why this happened. So hopefully I can prevent it from happening next time, or even put a longer gap, a longer space of time between instances. Just making those steps like that. Edward says, Matthew Azaria, have you tried support groups? A or N? I have a close friend that said it was a life changer having the support of a group and a one-to-one sponsor. I have people in my circle as well that swear by meetings, and they're not for everyone, but it is an option to look into, to just have the support of people who understand and care. I think we should shift and do some wins. So we're 15 toward our 250 goal. I'm going to do our snap cup, our wins, and see if that shifts the energy a little bit. Feel free to continue leaving your questions or your comments here. You can share your wins here in the chat, and I will try to read them there as well. But this is just a way that we as a community share our wins with each other. As Elwoods would say, it's just a way to share warm fuzzies. It comes with a song. Make sure to turn your volume up, Edward. Snap cup time, gather ye round. Friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. So as I always say, when I make this post in the community, you always have a win. Everyone has a win. And the more we can focus on the wins, the more we can build them. And that's not to say we should be ignoring our challenges and our struggles, but the more we can focus on our wins, the more it builds our confidence and the more it helps us shift our perspective. Oh, thank you, Ryan. I'm going to try again to write this sideways and see if it works. Thank you so much. Ah! And then we have David and Aaron. Yay! Got a little boost there. Yay! Mwah. So we have Steve Goebel, 5362. I think he's still in here. 67 years old and just realized I'm not alone. I'm part of the human race. It was such a revelation. What a beautiful revelation. I'm so happy for you for realizing that, there's billions of people in this world, 8 billion people now in this world, and you're not ever alone. And sometimes we can feel lonely, but we can always address that. You know, we're never alone, and loneliness can be addressed, and we can overcome those feelings. Sometimes it just takes some time, but I'm very happy for you for realizing that, and you're a very big part of this community as well. Speaking of, I'm gonna feel bad for saying this, but y'all are freezing to death. I'm burning up in here. Octanium YouTube says, I made a friend today. Yay, big snaps. It's always nice to have a new friend, to connect with someone new and be able to start that new adventure, that new journey. I'm very happy for you. Ooh, this is a big one. This cut off a little bit. Thomas Lazarek 6835, I think. Hello, Amanda. I severed ties with a few awful people. Narcissists prey on introverts. This is a retroactive victory. I went to see Ginger live back in August by myself, never been to a concert alone, and I had to drive over a bridge to get there and get home. Bridges freak me out. I bought a $25 upper deck seat. Heights freak me out too. So for me, it was a victory on several levels. Keep up the great work. You're an inspiration for us. That is so amazing. So let's see. There is the severing ties with some awful people. We'll give a few snaps for each of them. And then seeing Gingers, that's always a beautiful experience, getting to see bands that we love or artists that we love. So going to the concert alone, driving over the bridge, and overcoming the fear of heights by getting an upper level seat. So there are a lot of victories in there. I'm very proud of you. I hope that was a lot of fun. My mom was actually really scared of bridges too, so I don't think that's a super uncommon fear, but I think that's amazing that you had so many wins, and thank you for sharing those with us. Really mysterious. Let's see, Really Mysterious and David. So Really Mysterious says, I have one more song request. Do What I Have to Do by Sarah McLachlan. Studio album or live version is also good. Yeah, I haven't heard Sarah McLachlan in a long time. I know one or two of her cliche songs, but I don't think I know that one. McLachlan. What I Have to Do. So I have those to put on the master list, although the master list is very, very long. Oh, if you guys haven't heard, by the way, I post this over in the community, but if you guys did not catch it, the best way to do pledges, to do requests, not pledges, the best way to do requests for songs at this point is, yes, either here with pledges or just by following me on Instagram and sending me a message. I'm going to be choosing one person per month that follows me on Instagram and then messages me with their song request to do a request form to honor that. So it's kind of a new raffle way to make sure that I'm getting a variety of people and a balance of people and requests. David says, my win just now, I made Amanda snort water on YouTube with my bear trap comment. Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm going to choke on stream. It does not say who this is. It's just user IY4GB. I don't know why, but for some reason YouTube started doing this when I go to print my comments. So yesterday I bought a new suit and I feel strong enough to start looking for work again. I bet you look amazing. I can just see you with your Superman shirt under your suit. So big snaps to you. I'm happy for you for your confidence and for being able to go out there and pursue that and be able to feel strong enough to look for work. And good luck. CP368 Production says, got the bathroom a quarter cleaned. That always feels good. The bathroom is always for me the biggest challenge when I'm cleaning. So it always feels really good when you start making progress with it. So big snaps to you for that. Sean James says, I'm working on 3 years clean and sober. Big snaps for you. I'm proud of you. Rowdy Ruth, I love it. I'm still on the planet. That is a big win. That's always the biggest win, is still being here. So big snaps to you. I'm glad that you're still here with us. And you're going to be stuck here with us for a really long time. Really Mysterious says, December 23rd was my birthday. Happy belated birthday. Robert Rhodes, 9401, says, had my first session on a trainee counselor today, and it went well. Yay! Big snaps for you. That's a huge step forward. I'm really glad that it went well. I'm happy for you. Ooh, this is another long one. Orotolonin 286 says, I really appreciate you, Amanda, for helping others with their problems. I tried my best to help my cousin, but unfortunately wasn't enough, and he's no longer with us. So far, I've managed to stay functional and avoided depression to get power over me. It still feels unbelievable that someone with such a caring and empathetic personality with such a great sense of humor and wisdom couldn't come up with another solution and would have kept living, even though it can be really hard sometimes. There are also good days ahead of us if we just keep hanging on through the bad times. I'm really sorry for your loss. I hope that your cousin found peace out there somewhere in whatever way that means, and that you find strength to get through this incredibly challenging situation. And I understand how it can just feel unbelievable. I'm proud of you for staying functional and avoiding depression. But if you need to rest, make sure that you're taking all the time you need to rest. And I always say, when we lose somebody, I know I sound like a broken record, but to me, the best way that I think we can cope with that, whether this is a buddy in the military, whether this is someone we lost to suicide, whether this is someone we lost to cancer or a car accident, no matter how we lose them, it's my opinion that we can honor them through our own life, that we can live the life they don't get to live, whatever reason that is, live the life they don't get to live, and find ways to honor them and share their energy and their love with the world. This always does break my heart as well, to know that people didn't see another way out, and I know what that's like. But now, being on the other side of it, I just want to shake them and say, I promise there's a way out of the darkness. I promise, and we're here and we'll help you out of it. There's always other ways, and we care if your light goes out. So please make sure that you're reaching out and getting the help that you need, and know that we here in the community love you, and we see you, and we understand that days can get very difficult, but it does get better. We can make it better. We have more power than we think we do. So I really hope that you're finding strength, and I hope that we can give you some strength and hold that light for you while you're in this darkness right now. Oh, Spencer says, Mom is cancer-free. They got it removed. Big snaps. That's amazing. I'm happy for you. I bet that feels really good to have that off your chest. Jake Smith says, Kim and I finally watched Oppenheimer on Wednesday. It was pretty interesting. This is our 4th year we have done movie night on Wednesday. Wow. It started out as a way to deal with the COVID pandemic, but we've been doing Wednesday night movie night ever since. I love it. That's amazing that you guys make time for yourselves, and that you are able to come together like that. It's always important to spend time with people that build us up, and creating routines like that, creating just little nights, both to ourselves and to the people closest to us, is an amazing, amazing thing for our mental health. So big snaps to you. Oh, Celtic Knight says, it took me 10 years to learn there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Now 11 months sober. Big snaps to you for that. It can take a long time, especially if we don't have the tools. And that's why I'm here, is because I'm saying, hey, I get it. I was there. I went through that. And sometimes I still go through it. Sometimes I still just have absolutely awful days, absolutely awful weeks. So I'm just going, why am I here? Why am I doing any of this? It's not doing anything. It's not making a difference. And that shadow gets hold for a little bit. And I just go, nope, nope. And it's not even in a matter of pushing her away per se. I suppose that is the wrong motion, but it's just, okay, there you go. You can say whatever you're going to say, but I don't have to listen to that. So we have 60,000 thoughts a day. We don't have to assign meaning or relevancy to any of them. So one of the most important lessons I think I learned in 2023 as I was struggling with some pretty major situations was, if they're negative thoughts, they're probably thinking errors. 99.9% of the time, if you're having a negative thought, it's a thinking error. So let that sink in. I think I'm gonna make a Instagram post about that, because I think more people need to realize that negative thoughts are because we aren't thinking clearly. Tony Travis says, upon going back to the children's home preview mentioned for a session with a different group of kids, one of the kids from last week came up to me and told me that my visit and story helped him be comforted that he is not alone and that he has begun to construct a plan to further grow. I let him know that if he needed anything while doing so, to let the director know, and she would let me know. This was something that I didn't expect, but also helped me with my mental and emotional state. I want you, Tony, to print this out. And I want you to read what you just wrote to me every time you start falling apart right now, when you're struggling with not being able to be close to your kids, because you are making a difference to that one. Okay. You are making a difference to these kids. And I know it's not the same when it's not your own kids, but I promise we will find a way to get you back with them. But you are making a difference right now. And this is a beautiful way to stay connected to that energy, is by connecting with these other kids, knowing that you are making a difference, that you are valuable, that you can help others, and that you will help yourself, and you'll get back to your kids. But right now, leaning into things like this is beautiful. So big snaps to you for that. Print it and frame it. Put it somewhere where you see it all the time. Put it on the fridge, put it on your mirror. I want you to print that or write it down. Metal Claw 1974 says, almost 3 years clean and sober. That's a huge mental win for me. Closer to getting into a place to live with my fiance. 2 huge wins. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you, for your sobriety and for being able to move. My snaps just got quieter again this week. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the nails. I don't know. But big snaps to you. Ari says, thanks, Amanda. Fortunately, I have a lot of people to talk to, and I'm not afraid to ask for help if I need it. That is good. That's always a very good thing. I think there's always a lot of people to talk to, but our shadow likes to say, oh, nope, that person isn't going to understand, or that person will just judge us. And you know what? They might. Sometimes they do. I've gotten it too, where people have called me crazy and psycho and all sorts of curse words and hopeless. And you know what? I proved them wrong. So to all those people that said I wasn't good enough, or that I was unhinged, or that I wasn't partner material or mom material. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. We're going to go back to D-Generation X here. All right. Sean says, tattoo on your arm so you can see it every day. That was kind of a long tattoo, but even if you just get a bracelet that says, I make a difference. Actually, here's what I suggest, and feel free to take this or leave it. But one of my favorite stories, I know I've told this in stream before, but we have some new people in here, and I'm sure not everyone that's in here now was in here the last time, but one of my favorite stories is of the little boy who was walking down the beach, and he's picking up starfish and throwing them back, because if a starfish gets landlocked, then they'll die. They'll suffocate and they'll die. So he's picking up the starfish and throwing them back in the ocean. And he comes across this old man. And this old man says, what are you doing? It's not like you're making a difference. Look, there's so many of them here on the beach. It's not like you're making a difference. And he picks up another starfish and throws it back and says, I made a difference to that one. So I want you to go find a starfish this week. That is your goal. Go find a starfish. I want to see a picture of what you find. Maybe some kind of charm, some kind of medallion or a necklace or something. But I want you to find something that can symbolize that, so you can remember that you're making a difference to that one. Oh, I'm totally mental. I know, Jack. I know that I'm totally mental. Hence the mental Amanda. Hence the I'm mental shirts. David says, my concerts are varied. Just going through some of the concerts. See, you all would probably drive me across the coals for this, rake me across the coals for this, but I have not been to very many concerts. I could count on one hand the concerts I've been to. I've just never been a particularly big concert person. The only time I want to do a concert is if it's a band that I'm really, really in love with. And even then, I'm just not going to pay the concert ticket prices anymore. I really wanted to go see Blink-182, and the concert tickets were something like $600 a piece. I said, I am not, no, just no, I love you guys, but that's a lot of money. $600 per ticket, that's asinine. Warrior Post is an instrumental. Oh my gosh. Do I need to make that a shirt? I think I need to make that a shirt. Warrior Poet, I think you just gave me a new idea for a shirt. Somebody the other day told me that I needed to make the What the Cinnamon Toast a t-shirt too for the store here in the community. I haven't seen any pictures of you guys in the merch for a while. I always love getting those pictures. David says, I wore Amanda's I'm Mental t-shirt on a plane. Edward, are you still in here? Didn't you wear it to the gym once? Oh, I realized that I needed to open my email, because I always say that if you're going to make a bigger pledge here, do it through email, through my Pixie Yogi email, so that way YouTube doesn't take the fees. So I forgot that I hadn't opened that, so that's what I was clicking on. Let's see. Marie says, I didn't let my anxiety win this week and went to my very first concert. Yay, big snaps. What concert was it? I'm curious. Oh my gosh. Lass says, I spent my years from 16 to 25 every summer at festivals with like 15 concerts a day. So that doesn't sound enjoyable for me at all. Concerts are kind of exhausting, and I don't know if it's social anxiety or just, to be honest, unless I'm up close, it's just not a meaningful experience for me at all. Mama Bear says, perfectly flawed. I love it. Sean says, what was the outcome for David wearing the I'm Mental shirt? Well, they didn't land, or they didn't ground the plane, so that's good news. Never paid more than $60 a ticket. When I started going to concerts, tickets were $8. Back in, let's see, 2017 and I think 2016, and I ended up seeing them a few years later. I've seen Simple Plan 3 times, and when I saw them the first time and the second time, actually, the tickets were $250 each, but that included a meet and greet and pizza, and you could hang out with them and do pictures and talk to them for a while. And when I say hang out, I don't mean just a quick selfie bye. You could actually hang out in the room. There was maybe 15 or 20 people, and you could all just mingle with the band. I thought that was well worth the money. You know, if it's an experience like that, okay, I get it. But $250 just to go to a concert, I don't understand at all. Hello, Padan75. Whoa! Matthew says, my first and only thus far concert I attended was priced at $2,000 a ticket. The only time I would do that is to go see NSYNC. If NSYNC does a reunion tour, y'all, we're having an all-day stream to raise money for those tickets. Else I'm just going to have to sell my kid. So when I have to tell Bryston, you're not getting a Christmas this year because mommy needs to go see Joey Fatone. Yeah, Mama Bear, I can't imagine paying that much for a concert either. The only reason I say that with NSYNC is because I was supposed to go to an NSYNC concert when I was a teenager. My dad ended up going to the hospital that day. I chose to go be there with my dad. And it was just one of those things. I don't regret being there with my dad, but it broke my heart that I missed out on this dream. And that's why I ended up I kind of hunted down events that they were going to be at and met all of NSYNC at different times. And I did go to the VMAs back in 2012, although I had the very last row. So again, that's just not how I want to experience a concert. I was glad that I could just check it off my list and say, technically I saw NSYNC perform, but you might as well just be watching it on TV at that point. But if NSYNC ever does their reunion tour, please, my mental health needs it, then I would definitely be there just to bring that chapter full circle. David says, don't forget, Amanda, you have 2 kidneys. They are valuable. But are they? After all the damage I did to them in my teens, 20s, and part of my 30s, are they? I mean, I'm sure there's someone in the ghetto that would buy my puny little kidney. Steve says, I love that this feels like a family. It does. It just feels like we're catching up. Like it's the bi-weekly family call where we're just catching up. That's what it feels like. Warrior Poet says, it's so true. I have to let your lyrical inspiration come to me. I can't go to it. It's a slow process, but it's rewarding when it comes out right. I'm the same way when I'm writing. It has to hit me. If I just sit down and say, okay, Amanda, you need to write. Sometimes I can, but I feel like it's not nearly as good as when I wait and say, okay, we're gonna really do this. Tony says, in the ghetto. In the ghetto. Priceless, Amanda. Sean said this last concert was Coldplay. What was my last concert? Was my last concert Simple Plan? I think it was. Let's see. I've seen Simple Plan 3 times. I saw the Backstreet Boys. I went to some kind of metal festival. So Rob Zombie was there. God, I don't remember most. I remember Rob Zombie and I remember Korn. I went to Chester's tribute concerts that had a bunch of different bands. I know Im Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold was there. Jonathan Davis from Korn was there. Blink-182 was there. Because they had Not Tom at the time. That was not as great. Although I don't remember that guy's name. He was in what band? He was in a different band and he was really good in that band, but he was not Tom and he did not make a good replacement in Blink-182. I don't remember his name, but let's see. I did go to Linkin Park, but I didn't have good tickets. So again, it wasn't the most enjoyable experience, but at least I can say I went to a Linkin Park concert and BB Mac. And I think that's the only concerts I've ever been to. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. I'd love to go to a Blink concert. I'll die to go to NSYNC. Other than that, I'm really just not, I'm not pining to go to concerts. I want to see Amanda rocking to Rob Zombie, but it's hard because I don't know any of his music. So it's, yeah, it's kind of like when I walk into Aaron's office and he's watching a sports game. I'm like, go team. I don't know anything that's going on. I know what sports you're watching, but go team. Let's see. Daniel says, I've not wanted to meet up with old friends, colleagues since 2023. I like them, but this inclination is still there. Am I being the moron? Absolutely not. Sometimes I just get burnt out on socializing, and it's important to sit and say, am I pushing them away because I'm afraid that they're not going to understand what I'm going through? I'm afraid that they're going to judge me. If that's the case, I think having a conversation with them is the best course of action. But if it's just, I'm exhausted from socializing and I don't want to do this right now, then taking some time for yourself is completely okay. Sean James is not a Nickelback fan. I don't get why Nickelback gets so much hate. I love Nickelback. I don't get it. I will always love Nickelback. I do love Nickelback, and I will admit it. I'll own it. Another Amanda shirt t-shirt. Go team. Yay. There's a t-shirt on tshirthell.com that I've considered getting for a long time now that says go local sports team and or college. It's totally how I feel. If that's what people are into, all the more power to them. I just wish that people got as passionate about things that really mattered as they get passionate about sports teams. When I'm watching people riot in the streets over whether or not a sports team won, but they don't care that veterans are dying on the streets, there's a problem. That's why I get frustrated. Oh, really mysterious says Amy Lee was my last celebrity crush. I have a bunch of celebrity crushes. Warrior Poet says, I knew about Nickelback before they got big. My dislike for them is no part of any hive mind sort of thing. I just think the state was better than any other record they made. Jack says, nobody likes Nickelback. Well, I guess I know about it. Nobody. But that, you know what they say nobody's perfect. So I guess that means I'm perfect since I'm nobody. You see what I did there? Last is people that have to hate on bands are just sad. I know that he's kidding. I know Jack's kidding. So I'm going to defend Jack there. But it is frustrating. If you don't like a band, that's fine. You don't have to like a band, but don't tear down other people that enjoy it. Don't call them stupid or sad or pathetic or anything like that, because we all have different preferences. And I love that you guys, I know a lot of you are rockers that are into Metallica or Five Finger Death Punch or Lorna Shore, or all of these different kind of harder bands. And here I am with my NSYNC dolls. You know, I grew up on boy bands and old school country like Conway Twitty. And yeah, I love Linkin Park too, but I'll always have a special place in my heart for 90s pop. And I love that you guys hold space for me for that, and that you allow me to have my enjoyment and my pleasure without making fun of me too much. And I know when you guys do, it's usually all from a good place. David says music is art. Each has their own views and likes. There is no right or wrong. Agreed. Oh, what happened with Tony? Oh, Tony says 2 months ago, Friday, I lost my brother, an Army vet. We served together and grew up together. That's heartbreaking. We lose way too many veterans. Right, Matthew, imagine if we all lived like Matthew says. If we have a difference of opinion, then don't judge me and I won't judge you. I just realized that we're winding down, so we need to do a count to see where we're at, to see how close we are to our goal. So we're 85 out of 250, not too shabby. Not too shabby. I think we'll get there. We still have a few minutes. I might stay on for a few more minutes if we're getting close, but I think we'll get there. David Gabb says, can you share his name and rank? We can help carry his memory. I really want to do something specifically for veterans we've lost. I'm wondering if you guys later this year, maybe close to 4th of July, if you guys would like for me to just make a video with the pictures and rank and stuff of people that we've lost. Is that something that you think would help us heal as a community and help us honor those that have fallen, especially in these last couple of years? Tony says that would be awesome. I just want to find ways to allow us to share the energy of those we've lost, you know, to be able to share their energy, their love. So maybe we can have a picture of them, their ranking, and name if you feel comfortable with that. And maybe just one bit of information, one thing about them or something. Yeah, just to, like David said, to not let them be forgotten. Matthew says, I recently sang the song Black Hole sung by Soundgarden in a video I hope to post soon in honor of Chris Cornell and my sister alike. Well, when you do, let us know and I'll share the link. I will make sure to share the link. It's so hot in here. If that's something you guys would like, just drop me a message on Instagram. Go follow me on Instagram, drop me a message there and send me the information. And I will start keeping a log of it and then hopefully be able to put together a video. Tony Travis says, thank you for the thought. He's the real hero and I was just another soldier. Absolutely not true. I think every soldier is a hero. Last says, I feel for you, lost a brother like that too. I actually have a couple of ideas for veteran videos this year because I know that's something that very much needs to be addressed. So I'm hoping that I can do more of that here in the community, here on the channel. So I do have a few ideas of things to do, but I'm always open if there's other things that you think we could do here as a community or that I could do for the channel content-wise that could help soldiers just feel that support, that validation, that empathy, know that there's a community of us here. Some of us are soldiers, some of us are just civilians, but we're all pulling for them and we all want to help. Tony says, guess I don't want to steal his light. You're not stealing his light. There's enough light for all of us. Really Mysterious says, I love One Last Breath by Creed. I haven't done any Creed on the channel, have I? I've listened to Creed before. I've definitely heard of them. I can't specifically think. Oh, Arms Wide Open. That's right. I do remember that song. I think that's the only song I can think of off the top of my head. Warrior Poet's right. Let his light live on through you. Excellent advice. That's what I'm always saying, is that we have to find ways to honor them, and belittling ourselves isn't honoring them, you know? We're very grateful for you, Tony. Matthew says, even though a relative of mine is a Holocaust survivor, his survival is enough. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. That's crazy to think of. Scott Stapp has a way with words to let us know we're not alone. One of my friends interviewed him about addiction a while back. So we're winding down, just a few more minutes to go. What do you guys think of the last stream? I'm kind of wondering if we should incorporate more stuff like that, just learning different modalities. Maybe I can help you go through some different skills or some different things that we can add to our toolboxes. I'm debating whether or not to make little shorts or little videos about that, or maybe doing it here in the stream, or maybe I can make shorts about it, and then if you guys have questions or if you want to see a live demonstration of things, we can do that as well. Tony says that'd be cool. Okay. I love you too, Spencer. Daniel says, I've recently been feeling lonely. I've been single for 8 years. Dating sites aren't the best. What would you do? I'm just going to let you know that I do not know a single, I know one girl, but I don't know a single guy that has had good luck with dating sites. And that's here in the community. That's people I know. We're actually going to make a video about this probably around Valentine's Day, because dating sites, I personally believe, do more harm to a person's self-esteem and self-worth than it does good. And it's very rare for people to really connect on these kinds of sites unless they're just looking for a hookup. So my suggestion would be, make a list of the things that you enjoy doing and get involved in some of those things, so that way you're organically meeting people that are interested in the things that you're interested in. So if you are a reader, you can join a book club. If you're a gamer, you can join I know that our comic shops around here have little get-togethers, or there's different gaming venues here. I don't know where you're at. If you're in a bigger city, they probably have something like that. You can always do it online too, but it's kind of harder to find people in your area. But just engaging in things that you're already interested in, maybe taking a class of some sort, just so you're going out and meeting people. The goal is meeting people. And dating apps don't really allow you to see a person's personality. All you see is a picture, and that's all you have to go off of. And oftentimes our strengths don't really come through a picture, if that makes sense. So I think whether it's online or in real life, find communities, find different hobbies that you enjoy doing, and then organically meet people through that. And even if the group itself doesn't have someone, if you're kind of open about, I'm just kind of looking to date, maybe they know someone that they can introduce you to. See, I had to get to a point when I was living on my own, because I lived on my own for a couple of years, and I had to get to a point where I wasn't looking. I didn't need a relationship. I had to get to that point where I don't need a relationship. If I find someone, it's because I really mesh with them, they really compliment me, they bring something positive to the table. Because if we're in a place where it's, I need to be with somebody, I'm lonely, I'm sad, I need to be with somebody, then we're going to accept less than we're worth. And we're going to end up in a relationship oftentimes that doesn't serve us or that's even toxic for us. So it's very important that we're working on ourselves while leaving that door open and while, taking action to meet people if that's what we're wanting to do. So I guess we're going to I cannot talk today. I guess we're going to wrap up. So if you guys have any final comments, any final wins that you want me to acknowledge here in the community, I'd be happy to do that. Thank you guys for the pledges. Every little bit helps. We can always help somebody. And I finally got something to be able to record some of this so that I can share it here in the short. So I was hoping to be able to do that before this stream, but when I did go out, I wasn't able to find anyone, which was kind of strange, very unique, but I kind of want it to happen organically. And a lot of the times people that contact me do so online, but I will be going out to see if we can find some people to help here in this next week. So hopefully I'll be posting some stuff over in my shorts. Oh, thank you so much. David says, let's get it to at least 100. Thank you. We almost got to halfway. So David was 15. Yep, which puts it at, I'm just going to erase all this, which puts us at 100. So we're almost halfway. So that's not bad. Thank you, David. So we made 100, not too shabby, not too shabby. Almost halfway. Thank you, Tony. Rob wonders, I'm glad I never had to deal with dating sites, but meeting my spouse and getting married so young also meant I didn't get to develop as a person before getting married. That hurt my depression too. That's a very good point. I've seen that happen with quite a few people. Hello, I'm a French sub, and I saw your videos for several days ago, and I loved them because I found myself, especially in Disturbed Song, I was a victim of bullying. I'm a survivor of several suicide attempts. Je suis très contente que tu es là avec nous. C'est génial, et tu n'es pas quitté. Mouah, bisous. Je suis fière de toi. David says, not too shabby. That's my dating site tag. Oh my god! Oh, Merry Christmas! Oh, thank you! Holy cow! Last minute, we almost made the goal. So, there's 200, so we're at 202. Thank you, Mr. Mad Hatter. We were just talking about the Mad Hatter last night. So that's so funny. Thank you. I appreciate you. Mama Bears is not too bad. Trying to stay warm too right now. -2 right now. I just don't know how y'all deal with that. What are we at? So, I'll stay a couple more minutes to see if we hit the goal. I'll stay a few more minutes. That makes a really weird sound. Oh, I forgot to share my snap. So, as some of you might know, I lost a friend of mine, somebody that was very dear to me last January. The 11th would have been his birthday, and our thing was Queen of the Damned. I hadn't watched it since he passed. I actually hadn't watched it since a long time before that, and I knew it was just going to rip my heart out. That's ironic. That it was going to rip my heart out, and I managed to do it. I took time, did it by myself, just spent some time processing and grieving and journaling, and it was incredibly therapeutic. I'm proud of myself for getting through that. So that's Amanda's snap for the week. Mick is, look at this. Mick just hides in the shadows and then pops out to show us love. Thank you, Mick. Okay, we hit the goal. So we hit the goal this week. I see you there lurking in the shadows, Nick. Thank you very much. That was my big win for the last couple of weeks. And having that Instagram post go viral was pretty cool too. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm always hiding. I feel like I should be scared, but not at all. Bonsoir. Sean says her reaction to Wrong Side of Heaven hit me in the feels. Where are our feels exactly? Is it here, or is it in my toe? I'm just curious. Right. La musique nous aide beaucoup. Same problem, and they're good too now, and I'll continue this. Ouais, c'est génial. Continue comme ça. Ouais. How's it going out there? Hey, Master Ganji, you're a bit late. Coming at the tail end, but I'm glad you made it in. Sorry, Mike. Autocorrect sucks for all of us. So does Google Translate. Daniel says, okay, here's one for you. So you might like someone at work. How would you jog about it without making it awkward? I think that you should just be yourself, talk to them. I would kind of feel out the situation, just have a conversation with them, make sure that they're available, and maybe just offer them a small gift, ask them if they want to go grab a coffee. And if they say no, just know that it has absolutely nothing to do with you. Maybe they're taking some time. They just had a bad relationship. They're taking some time for themselves. Maybe they're seeing someone. Maybe you're just not their type, and that's okay. That doesn't mean anything bad about you. But just asking them out for coffee, or bringing a small gift. Just say, hey, I was thinking about you. Here's if you know their coffee, or if you know a certain snack they like or something, just bring something small like that. Je suis pas sur le français, ça me rassure. Rassure. Ah ouais, no, t'es pas seul. Such a good song. Okay, I am burning up in here. Il fait trop chaud. Il fait trop chaud. I am burning up. I'm going to get off here. Thank you guys for helping me reach my goal. I'm very excited to share these videos. I'm in 6 classes right now on top of the channel and the other big projects and the day jobs and everything. So I'm trying to keep a balance. I'm trying to keep content going and trying to continue the outreach. I'm hoping to get some of those videos up within the next 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much for helping me reach my goals. I hope 2023 just keeps going on in the right direction for us. And I will talk to you in a couple of weeks. I will see you soon.